Should we call this summer maybe the summer of the Niagara IceDogs? Because we have another trade to discuss. This is now six trades this offseason involving Niagara. Frankie Vola, since being named general manager, he has been pretty active this season as this latest deal is between the Niagara IceDogs and the Kingston Frontenacs. Jack Brauti has been traded to Kingston for three picks, a 10th in 2029 and then two conditional picks, a fifth in 27 and a fifth in 29. So Jack Brauti, he started his OHL career with the Barrie Colts. He was traded there last summer, if you'll remember, the pretty big three-way trade between Barrie, Niagara, and Flint. Brauti and Blair Scott both ended up in Niagara, while Tristan Bertucci joined the Barrie Colts. And here we are a year later, and Jack Brauti will now call Kingston home. And I think for Brauti, he's had a pretty good run these last two seasons, focusing on last year in 64 games with Niagara. 8 goals, 38 assists, 46 points. For his work in his own zone, he does a great job with that first breakout pass just to get the puck moving in that transition game. So he's a great playmaker. He'll be a quarterback on your power play for the Frontenacs, who will be needing some more veteran support from their back end, as they've had quite a few players graduate from last season. So Jack Brauti, the latest player from the Niagara IceDogs to be relocated. We saw Max Crete traded to London earlier this summer, along with Blake Aerosmith to the Sioux Greyhounds. It's a bit of a changing of the guard, so to speak, with this Niagara IceDogs team. And best of luck for Jack Brauti joining the Frontenacs, who they've also made a few moves trading away veteran players as they were addressing their overage situation early on and now addressing their blue line. So I do like this move for the Kingston Frontenacs, as Brauti should be able to help out, especially with the offense, with his hockey sense and that first pass out of the defensive zone. He does a great job with that. So, we'll see if Niagara has any more trades up their sleeve between now and start of training camp. Should we expect another trade or two from the Niagara IceDogs? We'll have to wait and see on that front. Now, staying with Niagara, there was a city council meeting in St. Catharines this week where they discussed the 2027 Memorial Cup. So the city was approached by the Niagara IceDogs, Darren Dobler, the owner, requesting that the city support a bid for the 2027 Memorial Cup. And council has endorsed a bid application for the Niagara IceDogs. So it looks as though we will have 3 teams putting in formal bids for the Memorial Cup, joining the Kitchener Rangers and the Guelph Storm. Now, with this deal, they have agreed to waive rental and operational fees at the Meridian Center should they be selected as the host city. And they feel pretty confident that St. Catharines can host the Memorial Cup. Being in Niagara region, you're not far from Niagara Falls. You're also not far from the border. So it's a community that's really focused on tourism. They have the hotels. Personally, I think Niagara would be a great spot to host the national tournament. I think it's everything that's been going on behind the scenes that may serve as a bit of a weight against this bid. But time will tell. We'll have to wait and see how this season goes, because the Niagara IceDogs have been putting together a team that should be competitive on paper, but it's the optics, I think, that might be the concern, especially among junior hockey fans, when we've seen the investigations that have happened with this team off the ice, with the questionable moves in the past involving this organization. So I know the city of St. Catharines, they wanted to build the Meridian Center with the hopes of one day hosting the Memorial Cup. This is now the second time they've supported a bid. The last one was in 2024, and they ended up losing to the Saginaw Spirit. So we'll see what happens this time, as Niagara looks to be the next team putting in a bid to host the Memorial Cup in 2027. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you feel as though Niagara should be the next host, or do you think it's better luck next time for this team? Love to see the comments down below. Now, before we wrap this up, the London Knights have announced another signing. They've signed defenseman Julian Brown. Last year played in the BCHL with the Nanaimo Clippers, and he's a pretty big defenseman. He's 19 years old. 6'4", 220 pounds, and last season with Nanaimo, he led the team in penalty minutes with 76. And what we've seen these last few years from the London Knights, They like to play a very physical style. Almost, I know some fans feel it's been kind of a bullying system, but they play an aggressive game. They try to wear down their opponent, and bringing in a guy like Julian Brown will add to that from the blue line. So he's going to be a big presence there for the London Knights going into the 25-26 season. And in 49 games last year with Nanaimo, a goal and 11 assists. So he's more of a shutdown defenseman, but we'll see how this all plays out as the London Knights these last couple of weeks have been making some signings where they're picking up veteran players. So we all know that a lot of players graduating from last year's team, and they need to fill the void somehow. And the Knights always find a way to stay competitive. And this is their latest move, bringing in Julian Brown. So we'll see the large defenseman take to the blue line here for the London Knights in the 25-26 campaign. So that's how I see it from the booth. Let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts on these news items. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we will talk to you again soon.